and welcome back. This is Garima and you are listening to Garima Avtar Show. Today we have with us Ripu Daman Bevli, the Plogging Ambassador of India and the first Fit India Ambassador. He was named Cosmopolitan's Social Activist of the Year 2020, Earth Day NetworkStar and Sony BBC Earth Champion in 2021. And then he has got many other recognitions from Nat Geo, Global Impact Network, Indiatimes, etc. etc. Ripu Daman is an ex-techie turned marathoner and environmentalist, and he has created movements like Litter Free India and Ploggers of India. He was the one who started India's first eco-fitness trend, where he combined Fit India and Swachh Bharat to fight the garbage crisis in the country. Now, to tell you how Ripu's journey started, it was back in 2016 when he started running long distances, and while training at various spots in the morning, he would see, all litter and trash around him. That really pained him. So he decided to create an awareness and fight against people's littering habits. And then he introduced the concept of cleanup to the running group. And how cool is that? It became the cool-down activity after training, where everyone would jog and pick up litter. 4 years back, he quit his corporate job and made Litter Free India his mission and full-time commitment. Thank you for joining us, Ripu.
Thank you so much, Garima, for having me and for those kind words.
So, you had organized one of your biggest campaigns to date, Run to Make India Litter Free, where you did 50 city runs and cleanups in 50 days, and around 50 lakh people joined you. Even the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi called to congratulate you on Mann Ki Baat. So what, according to you, is one of the most important value that a person must have in order to achieve such feats?
Well, I would say not to actually think about those feats. In retrospect. It's not that you don't dream. It's not that you don't visualize, you don't manifest. But when you are in that moment, when you are trying to make a change, think about the next step and the next step and the next step, right? Because that's in your control. That moment in the present is in your control. You visualize, you dream, you want to be somewhere, but now is the time to put that into action. And when you are in that action, just focus on that action in that moment, and then the next, and then the next. And as you consistently do it, you will manifest that dream, that feat, whatever that you want to achieve.
Very well said. Very well said, Ripu. So, but how and where do you draw your strengths from?
I've always believed that strength or motivation is something which is very internal, right? What drives you as a person? What is it that you get inspired from? What's your background? Where are you coming from? A lot of those things leave an imprint on you. And from there, you actually derive your motivation. And I think there's nothing better than self-motivation. So wherever you feel a little lack of motivation, always look at where you were and how much have you traveled already in terms of your life, how much have you achieved, and that really helps. But I think there's no lack of motivation for anybody out there. Look at every person, every situation out there. You'll find something positive. Always try to find that positive thing in other people, and you'll find your motivation from every person out there, literally.
Wow, wonderful. That's really lovely. So you also created a world record in Jan 2020 for the longest plogging run by an individual, where you filled up 11 bags of trash while you were on the run. So what is that one value that helps you follow your mission in a sustained manner?
I'll have to give you the anecdote a little bit as to what happened here. I just completed my 50 city, 50-day cleanup across the country, cleaning up 1,000 kilometers on the road. The country had adopted our mission, the government of India. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone wanted to be a part of it. So I received an invitation from this run organizer in Kota, Rajasthan. And they were doing an ultra marathon. Ultra marathon is anything beyond the marathon distance. So they were doing multiple distances like 50, 100, 120 odd kilometers. And they were like, you just come, be the guest or the chief guest, and that will inspire and motivate people. And I'm like, how would my face or my presence just motivate people? Just by being there. I was like, let me do something which will actually inspire people. And I thought of doing this 50-kilometer non-stop vlogging run, which became a world record, set the first such world record. And I always believe that people will follow your actions, not your words, or the impact that you create through your actions is much more long-lasting than your words. So that's what really drove me to create that world record. In terms of the values that help create the mission in a sustained manner, is to always realize where you're coming from, right? What your background is, what your values are, and never forget that, because no matter wherever that you reached, you started from somewhere and you wanted to create a change. So while you're bringing change to the world, don't forget your own roots. I think that's what really helps you be in that mission and drive it in a sustained manner.
Super, super. So action definitely speak louder than words. And don't forget ever your roots, where you come from. So very, very nicely put up. So who's your inspiration? Do you have a role model? And what are the values that you have imbibed or you will like to imbibe from your role model?
Yeah, so whenever I get asked that question, there's one perennial answer that I have. It's my mother. She's been my source of inspiration. She's everything. I mean, I always say that whatever little good that's in me is because of her. And I've learned a lot of things from her. Perseverance is one thing that's something that I've learned in a big way, because when she actually left her house, this was in the 80s, and left her husband's house and has been taking care of us since I was like 2 years old and my sister was not born. So we've been raised by a single mother, which was something that was unheard of in those times, right? From there on to literally starting from scratch again when she came back to this house. And then we had a difficult time, but her children would never know. She would give us the best of everything that she could. And not that it wasn't hard on her, but she somehow managed, because that was her priority. She persevered and never gave up on us. And that's why we are here, because of her. So my biggest inspiration is her. For my mission, I took Gandhiji's philosophy, the Litter Free India movement, that everyone needs to be their own scavenger. That it was that simple. And Gandhiji, if you look at it, his Satyagraha movement was primarily against two struggles he had. One was against the British for our own freedom, and one was against our own people's littering, unclean, unhygienic habits. We won the first fight. We got independence from British in 1947. We're still in the shackles of the second fight of our own unclean, unhygienic habits. So it's that onerous a task. And when I took it up, I took inspiration from him, and I'm like, this needs to, this is a huge task, and I want to give my life commitment to this. And hopefully before the end of this lifetime, we see a litter free India.
Oh, superb, superb. So I'm so proud of your mother. She's a completely self-made person, and you have imbibed, seriously, you have imbibed really amazing values, from her. She perseverance and, hard work, and you have done all this all by yourself, and you're a completely self-made person. So this is wonderful. And I'm so happy to hear that you're following Gandhiji's philosophy. This is commendable. Okay, so tell me, Ripu, so were there any setbacks or challenges in your journey, and now when you look back, what is that one value that you possess that has helped you overcome the challenges?
Yeah, so challenges, of course, when you're trying to change, look, littering has become, it's a very unfortunate thing to say, but it's become part of our mindset, part of our culture in India. And that's extremely unfortunate. So when you're trying to change an entire culture, an entire mindset, there would be setbacks and challenges. First of all, nobody would necessarily be a part of it, right? When you're trying to change something, you've got to start on your own. You wouldn't have thousands of people standing behind you saying, oh, let's do this. Because had it been that simple, then thousands of people would have been already doing it. So whenever you're trying to change something or start something, remember you most likely have to start on your own. So that never came as a challenge to me, thinking about whether there are thousands of people supporting me, because people would laugh at my back as well as to what he's trying to do, even on my face sometimes. And I continued with it, saying, this is what I believe in. And then I left my corporate career when I decided or realized that this is what I want to do full time. So things that I took myself, not looking at it as a challenge, but looking at it as an opportunity to bring about a change that very few people are blessed to even realize. And that's why I say God's been very kind, given me this visualization, this empowerment that I believe I can make a change and I can get 1 billion Indians to actually change. So that belief is what gets you beyond all the challenges, because challenges will come up plenty. Every day will be a challenge. But if you believe you can do it, I think everything else is secondary.
Totally agree with you here. Again, Ripu, I mean, there will always be challenges. There will always be pressure, But, it depends on how we look at it. That makes all the difference. Are you looking at challenge as an opportunity or not? And I think one has to learn to rise up against the challenges that we face in life. In my life, I remember, I feel very grateful, in fact, for all the challenges that have come in my life, because I think they have helped me evolve and become even a better person. So makes total
absolutely. I probably would be asking that question of you rather than you asking that question of me.
Let's turn the tables around. Okay, so I know of your trash workouts and plastic upvas, and I have been a part of your Right for Change mission in 2021 also. It happened, I remember, before the deadly second wave, where you cycled to various cities and conducted cleanups in those places to promote zero emission and zero waste travel, I think. Yes. So tell me, how do you derive your regular dose of motivation to do all this?
So I think so. It happens from various things, right? Because literally, I can tell you there are days when I wake up and I have zero motivation. I don't know what to do. I don't know where are we heading. I don't know where I am heading personally, and where the mission is heading as well sometimes. But in those moments, can you get up and actually do something, anything, right? Because like people follow your actions. Sometimes your thoughts and your mindset also follow your actions. So if you can go out there and change something, for example, not lie in the bed, just go out and just go out and run. You can do it on your own. Get a little bit of activity going, get a little bit of happy hormones flowing through your body, and lots of thoughts will come to you, and which will tell you that, hey, you're on the right path. You've made the change till now, and you will continue to make that change, whatever be your field, right? So it's very important to keep moving, and when you feel the least motivated, that's when you need to get up, lace up, literally and metaphorically, and just go out there and do something, anything, but just do something and move. I think that's what gets you to get your thoughts and get your body and get your mindset to be back in the game.
Yeah, I think, getting out of the comfort zone, that is, it's so important to just get up and go and do something. So there are so many, in fact, for me, like I listen to a lot of, I watch a lot of videos, listen to a lot of podcasts. I like to read some motivational stuff when I get up in the morning. So yeah, everybody has a different way of also getting their dose of motivation. So,
Yeah.
Ripu, you are so fit, and but is there any mental training exercise also that is part of your daily routine that helps you keep a positive outlook?
I'd like to admit that in 2020, I literally went through clinical anxiety and depression for a very short phase. And when I was getting into it, when I was actually going into that phase, I realized I'm getting into that phase. I realized I'm getting into quicksand, which is taking me down. I could see all of that. I wanted to do something about it. I could not. Not I believe not many people can actually see that they're going down that path. So I had that vision. I could see, literally, like, detach myself. I am here. I could see myself going down, and I'm standing here. Like, literally, like, there's another piece of me which is viewing that I'm going down that quicksand, right? But somehow, through that phase as well, I knew I could get out of it. I tried to do physical activity, could not be consistent with it. Tried a few different things, tried to read. Nothing would work in those moments at those times. I did seek a little bit of therapy as well, and that helped too. But I never stopped channels of communication with my friends. So that's one thing, that whatever be your medium of venting out, I think it's important to vent out, and having a circle, like the close circle. I have a very small circle of just 3-4 friends. That's all that I have. But I would never stop communicating with them. In terms of mental exercise, I've always done yoga. I had sinusitis since I was a teenager. I have a very bad allergy to cigarette smoke and smoke in general. Being a runner, especially in Delhi, it's not the ideal combination. But through yoga, through breathing exercises, I've been able to manage these issues that I've had always. And a little bit of meditation, a little bit of just mental exercises, getting up in the morning before the sunrise, and absorbing that energy. You see, I mean, it's very difficult to put that in word. What vibrations do you feel? But can you calm your mind down for a little bit, in whatever position? You don't have to sit in a proper yoga position, meditative position, and do it. You could be in a meditative state anywhere. Can you calm your mind down and not let it wander for a little bit, and just stay in the moment? Just try that, even for a couple of minutes, or for that matter. Think about, just close your eyes and hear all the sounds that you can hear, and try to identify all the sounds, and maybe smile whenever you find a new sound that you can hear, right? Especially birds will make you really smile. Now, just that effect of putting on a smile, even when you don't want to, will give so much energy inside. It'll open up your heart, and maybe you'll come out of whatever that you're feeling in that moment.
Wow, that sounded amazing. That's a thanks for sharing this. So if you could meet your younger self, who is striving to be there where you are today, what is that one piece of advice that you would like to give to him?
First of all, my younger self wouldn't have ever thought of or wanted to be here where I am. Right? So I don't know what to tell him, but
Any
think,
kind of any what I mean to say is things that you have learned during your journey, and the mistakes that we do. So something that you want to tell your younger self, okay, so this mistake I did during my journey, please don't do it while kind of pursuing.
yeah. So I mean, I was a very sensitive. I'm still a very sensitive person at the core of my existence. And over time, I've learned to realize, or I've learned how to manage that sensitivity. Focus on your own actions, focus on your own existence versus what everybody else or what the world is trying to do and how that impacts you. That took a lot of time for me to learn, and there were phases where I learned and then went down again. But I think that's what I'll probably tell my younger self, that look, what you need to focus on is your actions, what you can do, what is in your control, and then leave the rest to whoever is up there, right? That supreme power. Don't focus on the results. If you just be and try to be the best in whatever that you can do in terms of your actions, everything else will follow. And if it doesn't follow, then somebody else is writing a script and wants you to be better at it, right? So that's what I'd probably tell my younger self.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so the last question for you. What are the 3 things that you would like to tell our listeners?
Well, being a marathoner, that's the first thing I'll say is life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I'll give you a simple example. Now, Eliud Kipchoge, the most decorated marathoner in the world, would ideally run around 21 kilometers per hour for his marathon and complete in around 2 hours, the whole marathon. I can also run at that pace, but how long will I be able to sustain? I tried that. I couldn't sustain for more than 5 minutes and I was just out, right? Not even able to walk, let alone run at any decent pace. So you can go full all out and completely eat up your energy, or you can balance it out, see what's important, prioritize, focus in the moment, and try to then run your marathon in a way that you can sustain the entire marathon and not just sprint and leave all your energy out in the next 5 minutes. That's one.
That's one. Okay.
Yes. The second one, which we alluded to a little bit, is that whenever that you're trying to do something out of the box, whether in sports or in life or in job or anything for that matter, cherish or relish the opportunity. The challenge that is thrown at you is actually an opportunity. Because people would always say, oh, things have been really tough for me. Hey, it's tough for everybody, right? Everybody goes through their own challenges. So would you rather have achieved something after a lot of effort, after a lot of result, after overcoming a lot of challenges, or would you want it on a platter? That's a question that I'd like to ask anybody who says I have a lot of challenges to face. I'd rather prefer to not have it on platter and work everything out to be able to get to where I want to be. That's my life mantra.
Fantastic.
And lastly, like, when all seems lost, I think that's a very important lesson that we've all learned in terms of in the last couple of years. There's been a lot of setbacks, a lot of loss. So I think it's very important to realize that there will be times when all seems lost. Where you started versus where you are today, you question your entire existence. So it's very important in that moment to remember that feeling that you had, the inspiration that you had, how you wanted to change the world, right? How you thought that I could do anything in that moment when you started out. Remember that feeling, try to inculcate that feeling, see how happy, how positive you were, try to bring that inside you, and then probably not everything will look as lost as it is, and then you'll be able to move forward. So remember where you started from, and automatically you'll be able to move forward from there. That's my last.
And I think that's amazing message that you have left for our listeners. Great, fantastic session. And thank you all for listening to today's episode with your host, Garima Avtar. If you liked this episode, then subscribe to my podcast for more new episodes and a deeper dive into the world of motivation and sports psychology. See you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.